What's going on, y'all? So listen. What's going on, y'all? Listen, I know some of y'all probably was looking for another show from me, but listen, that'll be coming next, okay? But y'all know this had to take precedence over what I usually do on tonight because my girl, let me tell you something. Y'all stand for these little kids out here, these new girls or whatever. Okay, that's cute. That's cute. That's cute. But see, I'm grown woman. Okay, I'm grown woman with it. You know what I'm saying? And Ashley gonna go off for my people. And my people, you should already know Janet Jackson is number one. Okay, there's Janet Jackson, there's Tony, and then there's Beyonce. Okay, so like I'm gonna go off. I'm gonna go off. All right. So y'all already knew, and I told y'all about this before that Janet Jackson was coming out. Ooh, is my lips good? Okay. Janet Jackson came out with this docu-series or whatever that was supposed to be happening. It's 4 episodes, but it's two on 2 nights, tonight and tomorrow. And I was like, this is different because, we've always get an artist or whatever, somebody that want to tell their story, but the artist is not telling their story. We keep on getting these biographies or whatever from, outsiders or whatever who's trying to speak for them, and these gossip people or whatever. And I'm just like, this is big for Janet Jackson because Janet don't ever come out and talk about her private life. We don't never really see behind the scene footage like that. Hell, we don't even know what baby Issa look like right about now. Okay, like I can't even remember the last time we seen the picture of him. It's 5 years old. Fellow Capricorn, hey, he 5 years old. Capricorns are great. Okay, but listen, I was just like, this is crazy. So I was very much looking forward to this. And if, like I said, y'all don't know, I am a big Janet Jackson stan. Okay, my favorite album from Janet Jackson is the Velvet Rope album. I have to put that out there, and I will say that all the time because, like, even as an adult now, when I first heard it, it just, it was cute. It was cute. I liked it because it was Janet Jackson. And when it came out, I was a kid. I was young. Girl, what? I don't know. I was a kid. I was young. Okay. So it didn't really resonate. But as an adult and my later years, it resonated a whole lot. Okay. A whole lot. And it really became my favorite album because mama was going through some shit. I'd be going through some shit. I put that thing on and it just, yeah. Okay. One of my all-time favorite Janet Jackson songs. It's all right because I love the visual. I love the story. I don't know. It was different. Okay. And then you get the video when she had these legends in the video. Okay. And I was just like, who are these people? And they had me looking them up and everything. And oh, it was just amazing. It's just one of my favorites. Okay. Yeah, I'm finna go off. Like, one of my biggest, okay, since we are in this pandemic, and I know we're going to get up into the show because to be honest, this first couple of episodes, it really didn't give us, like, if you're a Janet Jackson fan, if you're a Jackson fan in general, you know most of the stuff that was said up in this, all right? So I'm not going to go too much in detail about that, but if you like, listen, you don't know me, I'm a Jackson fan. Okay, I'm a Janet fan, I'm a Michael Jackson fan, and I'm a Jackson Family fan. Okay, so that's who I am. Like, you don't know 2300 Jackson Street the song, can you really call yourself a Jackson fan if you ain't never see that little reality TV show that they did when they wanted to film it right when Michael Jackson passed away? Okay, unfortunately, I think it was like 6 episodes. I brought the episodes on iTunes and everything. I used to watch this shit like every day. Girl, I was in mourning when Michael passed away. Woo! That was a time. I was like, what? Girl, it was a mess. It was a mess, okay? I was a mess. I said, not another one. Not another one of mine. Anyway, moving on from that. But, one of my biggest regrets is the fact that I was not old enough to go to a concert of Janet Jackson where she performed in a big arena. Okay, I've been to her last 2 concerts, the up close and personal concert, but she did that at the Chicago Theater out here in Chicago. And it's a theater, it's big enough, but it's not like, a arena like it's huge or whatever. It's not like that like her other tours have been. You know what I'm saying? I really would have wanted to go to the Velvet Rope tour and the All For You tour. But I was young as hell, okay? And my mom wasn't doing all of that. But so that wound up happening. And like the closest I ever got to Janet Jackson was right there in my face. Like at that up close and personal tour, Oh my God, Janet Jackson was right there up in my face. I mean, ass and everything. I said, oh my God, look at booty. And then I got to go backstage before, because I paid to go backstage to actually get to look at some of her, iconic wear, her iconic outfits, some of her Grammys and different AMA and Billboard awards and all that stuff. It was just amazing. Pictures and everything. I said, wow, like I was taken aback. I was really starstruck, and it really wasn't even her. It was just her things. You know what I'm saying? I said, like, if I could do that just from looking at her stuff, how would I would act if I actually saw her in person? Okay, like she actually said hello to me, bitch. Girl, I'll probably freeze up. I be saying, girl, I be talking all this stuff I be doing. No, I wouldn't. No, I wouldn't. When it comes to the people that I really want to see, like when I met Tony, oh my God, I couldn't say nothing. I couldn't say nothing. I didn't ask for a picture. Thank God somebody I knew, Sparkle, okay? Sparkle took a picture of me and her, and I didn't even know. And she sent it to my phone. I said, I know that's the fuck right. Thank you for looking out, bitch. But anyway, moving on from that. Lord knows how I'm gonna be when I meet Beyonce, child. Anyway, I just said cute. I was so happy that this came out, and it gave me everything that it needed to give in this first couple of hours. I do wish that it could have been like a little bit more, because I know that it's hell of a lot of stuff that we're not gonna get, okay? Because by the end of tonight's episode 2, it ended with her going on her first tour, the Rhythm Nation tour, okay? And starting that off, you know what I'm saying? And the first episode, I will say, it gave us a lot of background information that I guess it was almost like to refresh our memories, you know what I'm saying? Because it's been a minute since people been really, really talking about the Jackson family or whatever. But like I said, the Jackson family is the Jackson family. Everybody should know a little bit of something about it. You know what I'm saying? You got Janet in the car going back to Gary, Indiana. She said this is like the first time she been back to Gary and like since she was 8 years old. I said, truth be told, girl, I ain't even in Gary, but you ain't missing nothing. You ain't missing nothing. Okay, if you from Chicago and you from Hammond and you from girl, we know. Okay, we know. Moving on. Girl, what is that on? Am my leg breaking out? What the fuck is that? But I'm sorry. The show, when she was in there and she was talking about that, baby, we weren't even 5 minutes into the episode and mama was like, oh my God, look at that. And it was a mural of the brothers, like when they were younger, and she just started tearing up and I was like, oh my God. No, see, I said, this is what it's going to do to me. This is what it's going to do to me. Already we crying and everything. I said, oh, let me brace myself. So we get up into the episode, the first episode, was just talking about the upbringing and, how she doesn't really remember much about what happened when they was in Gary because she was young. I think she was only there for a couple of years before they moved to LA. She was born in 66. I think the brothers got their recording contract around 68. Don't quote me on it. And they went out there to LA. They wound up moving out there like around that area, that time frame or whatever. So, you have her, Randy. We find out that her, Randy, and Michael, they were like the Three Musketeers. That's her words. They was like, the Three Stooges. That's what she said. And to this day, her and Randy still really, really close. I believe like I'm not going to say that he manages her, but he's always there. He's her mouthpiece at this point, okay? Because he will say some shit if he needs to. And, I like it, the big brother looking out for the little sister. That's great. And when we look back at some of the clips that they've been in, they've always been tight like that, her and Randy. So that was cute. They get into how many people, can you imagine just living in a shoebox ass place? Once, and this is how it was like at the old place that my mom and my sister, before my youngest sister came about, we used to live in. Went back over there to visit it, and I was like, oh my God. When you're living in it for so many years, it don't seem so small. But then when you come back after being in something better, it seems so small. And when you go up in that house, I was like, 9 people plus goddamn 2 adults, 9 kids plus 2 adults. That is a lot of motherfuckers up in there. Okay, a 2-bedroom, y'all sleeping in the living room, triple bump bags and all that stuff. And you get the history about how the boys came along into music, and Tito, and Joe's guitar and everything. Basically, we get all of that. The rise to Motown, had a family house out there in Motown. Out there in California. They used to have parties and stuff. They used to have celebrities coming all over there to the house, entertainers, actors, singers. Baby, they even said Bowie came out there. I said, huh? It was like, yeah, he was trying to find somebody, no, trying to find somewhere to just be by himself. And a couple of the boys, I think Randy or somebody else, don't quote me, it was one of the boys, a couple of the boys, they was in a room by themselves just chilling away from everybody. And he come up in there and was offering them some Booger Sugar. I said, what? He's offering them some drugs? Some kids, some drugs, okay? I'm sitting here like, well, how old were they? But were you just going, may he rest in peace. I said, that was crazy. That was crazy. But it was a crazy time back then. It was a crazy time back then. So, Joe's whole thing was about getting the kids away from that life, the gang and the violence, because Gary ain't no joke when it comes to that. Gary is just like, I feel like, another extension of Chicago when it comes to, some of the violence that goes on or whatever. So he knew, and that was back then. That was decades ago. So he knew what it was, and that's why his whole thing was to try to get them out of that and to keep them off the streets or whatever. When they was talking about the whole strictness of them, it was almost as if Janet was sympathizing with the, do you want to call it abuse that went on? The whoopings and stuff like that. That's what they call it these days. I want to choose my words wisely. But she was kind of like sympathizing, like, he did this because he loved us. This was his way of showing love or something like that. It was crazy. And I've always hated when parents be like, when they finna give you a whooping or whatever, this gonna hurt me more than it hurt you. No, the fuck it ain't. My ass hurt, okay? But, it is what it is. Basically how her life was planned out for her. She didn't know that she was going to be performing in the variety shows out there in Vegas and stuff. And, she was just pushed out there. Her first show, she was nervous as hell. She had to get comfort from Randy, and he was telling her, oh, it's going to be good. It's going to be good. After the first one, you'll be good. And we get to all of that. Then we move into her playing Penny on Good Time. And let me tell you something. Regine Mama didn't have to do what she did to Penny, okay? And they didn't have to put that big dumbass Band-Aid on Penny forehead like that, okay? That Band-Aid always bothered me so much, all right? But, Norman Lear's still here. It is so crazy because they also said something about, Berry Gordy. Berry Gordy is still alive. The fact that he has practically outlived the majority of his artists on Motown, that is crazy. That is crazy, okay? I wonder how he feel about that. She was talking about when they moved into Encino, California, and it was a white neighborhood, and I think they were the first black family out there, and, the racial profiling that they got, and, racial names that they got called or whatever, and the typical stuff that we already know. And what it's not surprising is the fact that she said she didn't have that many friends, okay? She didn't have that many friends. And later on in the interview, they was like, one of the main things that's hard about being a celebrity or being where they're at is the fact that she couldn't trust people. It's finding a person that you can actually trust and trying to find friends. Whether or not you're trying to be friends with me because of who my brother is or because you actually like me for me and you're not trying to use me. And let me tell you something. That's probably subconsciously why I've never, okay, ever wanted to become a famous person. That has never been in my dreams or whatever. Oh, I want to be famous. Oh, I want to be this. Now I want to be a celebrity. Never. I've never wanted that because as I'm looking at how stuff goes, that does not seem fun. It does not seem fun. It doesn't seem happy all the time. It seems more stressful. You're lonely because you don't know who the freak to trust. You know what I'm saying? Oh, spare me all of that shit. Give me a boring regular life any day, okay? We talking about that. Just about everything that was in her life up until she met James DeBarge. her father control, okay? And we know this story. Like, he was the one that was controlling everything, managing everybody, making her do this. She didn't want to do fame, okay? You know, she was coming to set late on purpose. That just wasn't what she wanted to do. And she said the way that, you know, Joe found out that she can actually really sing or has some type of talent to make it seem that, make it into the industry that way, was she was recording something and just playfully recording something, and she forgot to remove the tape or whatever, and Joe and Michael found it in the studio because they had a studio in their house, and he played it, and that's when he was like, okay, you finna get this record deal, you finna go record this, you know, start recording her first album, you know, and it didn't do the numbers that they wanted to do. She said she had absolutely no control over that. Even the picture, the cover of the art, the cover art of the album, she had no control over. She didn't like it, okay? And it didn't do what they needed it to do. And you know, she moved on from that and went on ahead and did fame. That's not what she really wanted to do. So at this point, she just realized, in order to be happy, in order to do what she wanted to do, to fulfill how she wanted to feel, she had to take control somehow, okay? That's when the relationship between her and James DeBarge came up. You know, they met when they were kids. And if you don't know the story of the DeBarges, I suggest you go and look up TV1's Unsung with the DeBarge family, or just look up any clip on YouTube or whatever, or Google, because it is a sad story. It is a sad story, the way that family is. And it is so crazy how the Jacksons, I would say, was okay with the fact that Janet was cool, or the family was cool with the DeBarges, knowing that their history with drugs, or did they know their history with drugs and stuff like that, when that was the whole thing and the whole reason why, you know, Joe was so strict trying to keep them away from that. You know what I'm saying? And I know they were grown at this point, but around the time that James and Janet got together, she was still a teenager. So it was like, that was very interesting to me. You know, big musical family, two big musical family coming together, having crushes on each other, and, you know, talking on the phone, and two soft-spoken people, okay? Janet said she wanted to go to college and become a business lawyer. Can you imagine her soft voice being in somebody's courtroom? I just can't, but, you know, anything could happen, and I understand it. It's a lot of people that started off that, you know, had other plans before coming into the industry, but to know that your family literally is the blueprint, okay? Like, one of the blueprint, especially for black entertainers and black family entertainment. You know, you have a lot of artists that are in the entertainment business as we speak, who look at them and follow the model of the Jacksons. Hell, Beyonce and them. Matthew damn sure followed Joe. I didn't know Catherine was making their clothes. Tina was making their clothes, okay? You know, the severing of the management, that reminded me of Joe and Beyonce and Matthew and all of that stuff. It's just a lot of similarities with a lot of these people, you know what I'm saying? And it's crazy how your family can just be the blueprint and the inspiration for a lot of stuff. But, you know, getting back to Janet and James, they messed around, got married, and, you know, she said when they first got married, on their wedding night, he ain't come home because that motherfucker went to go get some drugs. He was high. I said, what? Now, see, Janet, that should have been the bitch, annul this shit. Okay? Annul this shit right here, right now, because this is what I won't do. She said, you know, I think I got a habit of just being with people that that addicted to drugs or whatever. It's like she wants to help them. Like, she got this spirit to help people out, like she could save them or something like that. And I'm like, girl, see, listen, it would not be me. That marriage lasted a whole year. She said at one time we be up in the house just tussling over him trying to get the drugs. I'm throwing drugs down the toilet and everything. I said, bitch, I ain't got time for that. Okay, I'm sorry. I may love you, but baby, I am not finna marry an addict. Okay, I just don't have the patience for it. It ain't just that I don't care, whatever, but you have to want that help. Until this day, I think the last time I heard about him, he was still on drugs. Okay? I will never forget, because we finna get into something. They went on ahead, you know, got divorced. She said when she was on that set of Fame, there's times that, you know, he was supposed to come pick her up and she outside waiting hours for him to come pick her up. because he was out there getting high. I said, bitch, it would not be me. It would not be me. She said I dropped his ass off at his brother's house and told him, listen, we get a divorce, locked the doors and drove off. I said, sometimes you got to do it like that, okay? You got to do it like that just to go ahead and get the shit out the way so you won't lose your nerve. She went to her mama's house and that was that. They bring up the whole situation about the secret baby. Girl, ain't no secret goddamn baby, okay? And anybody who believe that shit is just dumb. Because out of all those kids that them people got, why is it that Janet, like if they would have, don't you think they would have found a picture by now of her pregnant? You know what I'm saying? She said people on the set of Fame thought that she was pregnant at one point because she had gained weight, and she said she gained weight because the birth control pills that she was on, you know, and that does happen even to this day. There's birth control pills out there that make women gain weight too, so that's understandable. But Janet weight has always fluctuated up and down, especially around the time when she gets to touring. She gets a little toner, you know, and then when she's not, she kind of get a little fluffy, and it's fine, you know what I'm saying? So she's always been that type of thick girl like that, or up and down girl like that. And then it's like they said the baby was with Rebe. Rebe said, listen, girl, first of all, Rebe still look good, you know what I'm saying? And she said, listen, what baby? Why would we have a baby? It just never made sense. Okay, you got a person like Michael who has so much controversy as to how his kids came here. He ain't never had his. So what make her any difference to have hers, okay? Granted, I get it that she was young or whatever, but still, if it was a baby, it would have been came out hell. It came out about Joe's other child, okay, that he had out of wedlock, all right? So, I mean, they would have been found Janet if they had one. And you want to know what made me so mad? I was looking at, I don't know if some of y'all look at Growing Up Hip Hop, but when Growing Up Hip Hop LA first came out, like in the first 2-3 seasons, that's where it was really good. What's her name? Christiana, James DeBarge's daughter, who was the singer at one point. She had a couple of little hits or whatever, semi-hits or whatever. She was on like the first 3-4 seasons. Probably just the first 3, maybe. And when it got to her last season that she was on there, she had absolutely nothing to talk about that was of interest to be on the show. So she made it her storyline to try and find the so-called secret baby that supposed to have been Janet and James. Had this woman on the show giving her a paternity test, a DNA test, to see if they were kind of related, because they would have shared the same DNA. Even if they had different mothers, they would have had at least partially the same DNA. And of course, it turns out to be not. You know, I said, that was disgusting to me. You using this situation for a storyline because you ain't interested enough yourself. That made me mad so much. She didn't even come back for the next season. I said, please don't. I don't even know what the hell the girl doing now. But that was that. At this point, you know, we get to after the annulment of the marriage. You know, she want to do the music now. If she gonna do it, we gonna get into the control era. She sits Joe down. Listen, it's over. I got to take care and take control of my life. I got to do what I got to do for me. I got to do what's best for me. Okay? That's what she told Joe. Joe was like, okay, pack it up. You, Jesse. What's her name? Jesse Davenport. He was like, go with her. Okay? Follow Janet and do what you got to do, you know? And I was like, okay, cool. I'm pretty sure he was brokenhearted, you know? But they said that... They said Janet was the only one that really truly stood up to Joe. I can see it too. But, you know, she hooked up with Terry and Jimmy Jam. They explained how they met around that time, the same time, baby, she done met Renee. Okay, Renee was just a friend, you know, that turned into a boyfriend, that turned into a secret husband. Listen, the best part of the show has been the behind the scene footage that we have not seen. They said for the past 10 years that they was together, Renee was filming them, like documenting everything that was going on. And so we got to see some of the stuff, like when they was sitting on the beach and I think he proposed to her and she was crying a little bit. I was like, oh my God, this is cute, bitch. This is nice. You know, I just love seeing behind the scene rare footage that seems so real, that is so raw, you know what I'm saying, from artists when they're working and everything like that, you know, seeing them not so put together, seeing them in their natural state. Okay, Beyonce, bitch, take notice. Take fucking notice, bitch. First of all, don't wait till you get. I don't want to wait like 10 more years to get into your life, all right? But give us something, bitch. Give us something, shit. I mean, you gave us Homecoming. That was cute. But I'm talking about like this, okay? Like this. Before Matthew want to put his own biography out. I'm just saying, do it first before he do it, okay? For he try to make money off of you. That's just a suggestion, okay? Who the fuck am I? But I'm just saying that's just a suggestion, okay? But, you know, that happened. They was up there just, oh, it was beautiful. I just love the rareness about it. You know, them going traveling, and when Control came out, all of the hits that came from their multi-platinum album, and she still hasn't been on tour. The whole feeling of still trying to. At one point, she wanted to put out some albums early in her career, and she didn't want her last name on the album, okay? Because she wanted to differentiate herself from her family, from her brothers and stuff like that. You know, just be known as Janet, and don't be associated with them like that. I said, girl, your face, y'all all look the fuck alike. They gonna know you a Jackson, girl, whether you put the name on there or not, okay? But that was cute. You know, she came out with Control. She did what she had to do. We saw how involved Renee was in her relationship. How he came about in a relationship, actually, like the background of him coming from like a film family. I didn't know that. But, you know, that was nice. The fans demanded that they wanted a tour, but she didn't feel as though she had enough records to go on tour, you know? And so that's when she started working on the Rhythm Nation album. And baby, that scene when they had up in that studio when her and Jimmy Jam was going at it. You're laughing and you're not telling me why you're laughing, okay? Like, what is it that you want me to do? No, you know what? I'm finna go home, okay? I'm finna go home. I said, damn, you know, Janet tried to go off, but it was just like, am I supposed to take it serious? Because I you know that she really mad, but it just sounds like she's so sweet with it. You know what I'm saying? Because her voice, it just doesn't elevate the way that it elevated probably in recent years. It just sounds so sweet and angelic when she was trying to go off. I was like, girl, we supposed to take this serious. You know what she remind me of and who has the same type of tone a little bit? Halle Bailey, okay? She has such a sweet Disney-like tone, okay? So even it's just like that. I could picture her trying to go off, and she'll probably sound the same way. You know what I'm saying? So if they do a movie on her, put Halle Bailey as the little Janet. It'll work. It'll work, voice-wise and everything. But yeah, that was going on. You know, that was a nice little touch. What else happened up in this documentary? Girl, I'm fast forward just to make sure I get to the good part. When she was sitting there, at one point, she was crying about the relationship with her and James. Oh my God, I forgot that. She was crying about that. She was like, I don't want to talk about this no more. I said, oh no, like I'm ready to fight. I'm ready to fight because what you won't do is try to get at my girl like this and put her through. See, this is why I say I can't be with an addict. I can't be with somebody that got all this excess baggage because I got to deal with my shit and your shit. No, okay? Meanwhile, you know, she trying to establish who she is as an individual and get that respect. And this is, wow, can you imagine having an older sibling or somebody that's in your family that's just so super famous or whatever, and you're trying to establish yourself, and every time you go out, an interviewer is asking questions about them? Okay, that's basically what was happening. And I was just like, that would have pissed me off. But every time they showed a clip, like, she handled it well. She handled it well. But I know she was cussing at home. I know she was cussing in the car and everything. She was talking about the way the relationship between her and Michael changed. She said that, you know, in the beginning, her, Randy, and Michael were like the Three Musketeers. But around the Thriller album, you know, that's when things start to change with their relationship and with him in general. You know, she said every album that he would bring out, he would let her listen to it first, front to back, start to finish, get her opinion on it. But then when around Thriller era, she said he came into her room at one point, stood there for a minute, and then walked the fuck out. I said, oops. What was that about? Then they put that clip up in there about how Reby hadn't talked to him in over a year, or seen him like in person in a year. It was crazy. The circus that was around Michael, that that's tragedy, to be honest. Okay, like I said, I would never want to get to that height. It's just not worth it. We see too many stories of look at what happened. Look at what happened. Okay. Meanwhile, they get into doing the Rhythm Nation album, and the way that they had to cut around doing the Rhythm Nation album because it was such a socially conscious album, and they never told the record label that that's the type of music they was gonna do. So they just went on ahead and did what they was gonna do, and the Rhythm Nation album came out, and it hit the way that it hit, and it hit so good unexpectedly. Let me just tell y'all this. Janet, I feel as though Janet don't get the respect that she deserves, okay? Janet, you know, when Nikki said, you motherfuckers my sons, Janet birthed a lot of sons and daughters, okay? She birthed a lot of sons and daughters out here. You know what I'm saying? And there's no fucking denying it, because her essence, her influence is everywhere. We see it all the time, okay? We see it in Beyonce. We see it in Ciara. We see it in Tiana Taylor. We see it. Hell, even Britney said something about it. You know what I'm saying? Said that she was somewhat of an inspiration. And shout out to Paula Abdul ass on here, okay? Because Paula Abdul, that girl, okay? Paula Abdul, she was still that girl. She's still that girl. You know what I'm saying? I'm still looking good out here. But y'all need to put some respect on Janet's name. And I guess the second part will be about how, you know, the fame rose. You know, she did her first concert tour, the Rhythm Nation tour in 1990. She was scared about it. She said she had a dream that nobody showed up. But then when it actually happened, people was actually there. And they was going off. You know, that girl, them three girls that they showed in the audience, and they was doing the Rhythm Nation, they was doing the court. Let me tell you something. You are not a real fan if you are just standing there in the audience just like this. Bump all that shit, bitch. You better be singing. You better be busting a jig. You better be doing the choreography. Girl, you better be going out, because at that point, you could have stayed at home if you just going to be doing this. You could have did that to the CD at home, bitch. Okay, we better fucking go off, okay? You know, you got to do it. You got to do it, bitch. I ain't finna give y'all too much, okay? But, you know, yeah, it was a really nice time. So next week's episode, or I should say tomorrow's episode, should be about how Michael's situation affected her, because she did stand up with her in solidarity with her brother. Her scandal, you know, her relationships and stuff. Baby, I'm just looking forward to what she got to say about the Super Bowl incident. I just really want her to chew these motherfuckers out the way that they play her, because it is just so crazy how motherfuckers did the most for Janet, showing almost titty, to the way that we see now. Like, motherfuckers literally got up on the Grammys and they was scissoring on the stage. They was scissoring on the stage, granted, with their ass out and everything. You know what I'm saying? They performing sex acts on the stage, but yet you get mad over a titty that was covered up a little bit by a fucking nipple ring. Bitch, girl, the times have changed these days. The times have changed, okay? Baby, if that would have happened today, wouldn't that happen? Wouldn't that happen? We'll talk about it for the next couple of days. And by the next week, we'll be over it. Okay? That's it. Anyway, y'all tell me how y'all felt about this first half. It was cute. I loved it. Looking forward to tomorrow. I'll be back tomorrow for it. Y'all tell me how y'all feel. I'm excited and I'm happy. And I'll see y'all later. Peace.